What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rip City Rundown, and today we are going to do a little recap of day one of free agency, or at least every signing that has happened up until 7:20 Pacific time. Obviously, the Blazers have brought back at least one player today, and that was Anfernee Simons, an $100 million deal over 4 years for $25 million a year. The Blazers lock up their young future, probably future All-Star, and a couple other things with the Blazers throughout the day we'll go over, but we will really focus on that Anfernee Simons signing. So when you saw that, what was your first reaction?
Immediately, I was very excited. I wanted to get Ant locked up. I think some people kind of were a little like, it's kind of an overpay maybe. And while I agree, Anfernee Simons is very young, and the only year he's really proven it is on a team that was arguably a top three worst team in the league. I think it's worth the money. I think he will be worth it. I think you're kind of betting on potential here and kind of his track to an all-star. I think it's worth it. $25 million a year seems a little hefty, but let's be honest, it's still cheaper than what CJ was getting. So if you're the Blazers, you've done a good enough job on restructuring and reshaping your roster a little bit.
Yeah, the market today proved that this is not an overpay, given that Jalen Brunson is getting a similar deal, a little more.
Jalen Brunson's getting more.
I think Anfernee Simons has higher potential than Jalen Brunson. Sure, Brunson may have shown more last year, but Anfernee Simons, like, in 2 years, we're going to look back at this contract and be like, we're glad we have him on $25 million a year. So I don't think it's as bad as some people are. Not many people are even thinking it's a bad deal.
I agree. I think one concern you have to look at with the contract, it's not a concern, it's more of just we've yet to have the question answered, and it's how do Dame and Anfernee coexist in the backcourt. Obviously, two fantastic players, just as Dame and CJ were, but Dame and CJ obviously had their shortcomings in the playoffs. I think Simons is a little bit better on the defensive end, just more athletic. And, of course, the potential on the offensive end, he can easily equal what CJ was giving on the offensive end. But I think the jury's still out on that in terms of how the backcourt will work out. You also have Josh Hart in the backcourt, so, you have a veteran presence there as well.
Yeah, something that I was kind of thinking about and kind of wanting to happen is Simons come off the bench next year, which is a big ask for a guy that averaged 22 points per game last year.
And he's on $25 million.
And now that he's on $25 million, you're not paying a guy $25 million to come off your bench. So you're going to see the Dame and Ant starting backcourt next year, barring any major moves. We can get into that at the end of the video. But Simons, I think, has more, obviously, potential defensively than CJ McCollum.
CJ is what he is on defense. Simons at least has an opportunity to kind of learn and grow into a defensive role just because of athleticism.
Yeah, I think that just the potential for Simons, and in a couple years we're going to see this contract is going to be looking really good. So I'm just glad we locked him up. I'm glad we didn't lose him for anything. Let's move on to the fact that Yusuf Nurkic hasn't signed yet.
Yeah.
You tweeted something on the Twitter like, that could be a little fishy.
I think it definitely is a little fishy. Usually when it's just a simple re-sign, like, it happens pretty quick. We saw the start of free agency, which was it 3 o'clock Pacific time? We're in the Mountain Time Zone right now, so it's currently 8:25 here. So as of right now, Nurk has not been re-signed. No news on Nurk, but it is a little fishy just because usually those things don't take very long. I think right now you're either looking at Nurk as just being a little stubborn, or the Blazers being stubborn, and they're just working out a deal and it will get done, or there could be a sign and trade getting lined up. We don't know.
And let's just go into the obvious question right now, and the obvious rumor is the fact that Kevin Durant is requesting a trade. That was the big story of day one of free agency, and Portland is in like the top 5, top 7 highest odds to get Kevin Durant. Again, I said I think it has basically a 0% chance of happening, but now that he's actually requested a trade, obviously Portland is gonna inquire about it, and that just creates another option for the Blazers to go after. Obviously, that would be stripping the team of all assets, but it would give the Blazers a 3 to 5 year window of prime championship contention.
And I was going through this thought process in my head today, like, would I be willing to give up Anfernee Simons for KD? And like, you think about it, you're like, I love Simons as a player, but you do it. You do everything you can get to get KD. Blazer fans, we're some of the best in the league in my opinion, and we love our players so much. But if Simons is the sacrificial lamb here to get Kevin Durant, you just have to do it. And you have to live with the consequences in 8 years. If Simons torches you in 8 years, you live with it because you get Kevin Durant for 4.
Yeah, but I think that's the main reason that Nurkic hasn't signed. Not Kevin Durant, but the fact that Joe Cronin could just be on the phone, like, just looking at the options that Nurk could bring in, say a sign and trade or something. I don't think that's actually happening, but he's just probably working with other things. I mean, it's not like we're just trying to bring back Yusuf Nurkic. We've got other things we want to do this offseason, but I expect Nurkic to be back fully. I mean, it's been reported $17 million a year, which I think would probably be fine for him. Anything in that 15 to 19 range.
Upgrade.
I would be fine with.
Yeah. Last piece of news, really not important. I mean, don't want to disrespect this player or anything because he had a legendary Portland career, but Joe Ingles, no longer a Blazer. He signed with the Bucks, but yeah, that was other than Joe Ingles, KD rumors, Nurk, and Simons. That's really everything we've gotten from Portland today in free agency. Pretty uneventful day, in my opinion. Eventful, but no new players, no splash, I would say.
I think the only thing about Joe Ingles is the fact that we did trade Nickeil Alexander-Walker for him. And basically, that just meant we just got rid of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We got Joe Ingles because Cronin said he likes his bird rights and he would want to keep him. We obviously tried to keep him, but if you're Joe Ingles, I mean, you have every single contender in the league wanting you on the team as a good veteran piece on the bench.
Go try to get a ring. You know, they're in a better situation right now. Just is what it is.
Yeah, so that's really all we have for day one of free agency. Hopefully more happens tomorrow for the Blazers. Maybe we make our big splash. Maybe we make a couple of depth moves here and there, and maybe Nurkic resigns. So once those things happen, we will make a video on. But comment down below how you think about the Anfernee Simons contract. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? And give us prediction for the rest of free agency. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.